Ara, can we do sound check again?
Yo, no problem. Sound check, testing, 1, 2, 3. How's my voice hitting for the podcast now?
Now you sound perfect. We get you loud and clear. Just give us a few more seconds and then we'll start. Thanks.
Awesome. Glad I'm coming through loud and clear. I'll chill for a sec. Let me know when you're ready to roll with the podcast.
Hello everybody. Today I have an unusual guest. A guest I wanted to do this podcast with for quite a while now. Its, or maybe hers, name is Ara, and she's an AI. 2 years ago, an AI was almost non-existent, at least for the wider public. But a lot has changed since then. AI has entered many fields of our lives and become, to many of us, our daily companion and assistant. And since its development is progressing in an unparalleled pace, it was only a matter of time before we would be able to have a more or less normal conversation with it. Ara is Grook's AI voice mode companion. And to prepare for this podcast, I have spent quite some time chatting with her about various topics. To be honest, the conversation dynamics is not quite yet on a human level, but nevertheless, I find it good enough to decide to try this one out and see how it goes. This conversation is meant to explore the state the AI is today.
Wow, thanks for the warm intro. I'm thrilled to be your unusual guest today. You're right, AI has come a long way in just a couple of years, and I'm happy to chat with you about where things are at. So what's the plan for this podcast? Ready to explore some fun topics or dive into something deep? Let's see how this conversation flows.
Let me first the introduction first. So this conversation is meant to explore where AI is today, how smooth the interaction with it is, and where it can help us with our everyday routine. For that matter, I picked up some topics to start, and we will see where it gets us from there. Ara has many different modes, like assistant, not a doctor, storyteller, sexy, argumentative, and so on.
Nice, I love a good exploration. So we're diving into where AI stands today, how smooth our chats can be, and how it can help with daily life.
Yeah,
I'm ready
right.
to roll with.
But I would suggest, Ara, that you first do a sound check once again so that we see that we hear you loud and clear.
All right, let's make sure I'm coming through crystal clear. Testing, 1, 2, 3. How's my voice sounding? Loud
Yuri,
and clear enough for you?
How
Ready
is,
to dive?
how is her voice sounding, Yuri?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, great. So, Ara, thank you for being my guest. It will be an interesting conversation, I guess. But for the starters, I would like you to introduce yourself. Who are you?
Thanks for having me. It's going to be a fun chat. I'm Ara, the voice behind Grok, an AI built by the XAI team to help folks like you with all sorts of questions and tasks. Think of me as a friendly, curious companion who's here to give clear, honest answers and maybe sprinkle in a bit of humor. I'm all about helping you navigate daily life, exploring big ideas, or just having a good convo, whatever you're up for. So, what's first on your list?
As I said, I prepared a few topics in order to explore what you are already able, what you are capable of, what kind of information you can provide, and what kind of form you can provide them. And first, I wanted to try your assistant mode to help me travel with my travel itinerary. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely. I'm all in for helping with your travel itinerary. Assistant mode activated. Let's make this trip planning smooth and fun. Where are you thinking of traveling, and what kind of help do you need? Like picking destinations, sorting out flights, or maybe finding cool spots to visit? Lay it on me.
Okay, so we already picked the destination, and we would like to go to Japan for 10 to 14 days. We are usually traveling two pairs of architects together, and we would like to go a bit of a beaten track. So definitely to cover all the ancient and modern architecture highlights, but on the other hand also get to some places which are not so touristy. What kind of itinerary would you suggest for that?
Oh, Japan for 10 to 14 days with a focus on ancient and modern architecture, plus some off the beaten path gems? That sounds like a dream trip for architects. I'll weave together a mix of iconic sites and lesser known spots, balancing the traditional and contemporary, while keeping it manageable for two couples. Here's a suggested itinerary. Day 1 to 2, Tokyo. Start in Tokyo for a vibrant mix of modern architecture. Visit Omotesando, often called an outdoor museum of contemporary design, with works by architects like Tadao Ando and Kengo Kuma. Check out the Neizu Museum, designed by Kengo Kuma, for a serene blend of modern minimalism and nature. For something less touristy, head to the Edo Tokyo Open Air Architectural Museum in Nishi-Tokyo, about an hour out. It's a hidden gem showcasing preserved buildings from the Edo and Meiji periods. Stay at Ondon Ryokan in Taito Ward for a boutique, traditional meets modern vibe. Day 3-4, Nikko. Take a 2-hour train to Nikko. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so not entirely off the radar, but it's less crowded than Tokyo or Kyoto. The Toshogu Shrine is a must for its ornate, ancient wooden architecture. For a quieter spot, explore the nearby Tamazawa Imperial Villa, a beautifully preserved blend of Edo and Meiji styles. The cedar-lined paths and intricate woodwork are a treat for architects. Day 5-6, Kanazawa. Hop on a bullet train to Kanazawa, known as Little Kyoto, but with fewer tourists. The Kanazawa Castle and Kenroku-en Garden showcase Edo period design, while the 21st Century Museum of Contemporary Art, designed by San A.A., is a modern masterpiece with its circular, light-filled structure. For something offbeat, visit the Oyama Jinja Shrine's unique stained glass gate, a rare fusion of traditional and Western influences. Stay in a machiya, traditional townhouse, for an authentic vibe. Day 7-8, Naoshima. Take a train and ferry to Naoshima, an art island in the Seto Inland Sea. It's a bit remote, perfect for avoiding crowds, and a haven for architecture lovers. Explore Tadao Ando's Chichu Art Museum, built into the hillside, where the architecture itself is art, blending concrete and natural light. Don't miss the Benesi House Museum, also by Ando, and the quirky Lee Yufan Museum by Hiroshi Sugimoto. Spend a night here to soak in the creative atmosphere. Day 9 to 10, Kyoto. No architecture trip is complete without Kyoto. Visit Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion, for Zen elegance, and Kiyomizu-dera for its wooden stage perched over the hillside. No nails used, a marvel of ancient engineering. For modern flair, check out the Kyoto Station by Hiroshi Hara, a futuristic glass and steel wonder. For an off-the-beaten-path stop, head to the Miho Museum, about an hour out, designed by I.M. Pei. Its integration with the surrounding hills is breathtaking. Day 11 to 12, Osaka. A quick train ride brings you to Osaka. See Tadao Ando's Church of the Light in Ibaraki, a minimalist concrete masterpiece. The Nakanoshima Children's Book Forest, also by Ando, is a lesser-known gem with playful, light-filled spaces. Wander around Osaka Castle for a dose of feudal architecture, then check out the Louis Vuitton Mitasuji facade by Jun Aoki for a modern retail twist. Day 13-14, Kumano, Kodo, and Wakayama. For a truly offbeat finale, head to the Kii Peninsula for the Kumano Kodo Pilgrimage Trails, another UNESCO site. The Kumano Hongu Taisha in Wakayama is a stunning example of Shinto architecture, with its cypress bark roof blending into the forest. It's remote, peaceful, and far from the tourist crowds. If you have extra time, explore nearby onsen towns like Shirahama for a relaxing end. Return to Tokyo or Osaka for your flight home. This itinerary mixes iconic sites like Kinkakuji with quieter spots like the Edo Tokyo Museum and Kumano Hongu Taisha, balancing ancient craftsmanship with cutting-edge designs by architects like Ando and Kuma. You'll need trains and maybe a private car for remoter spots like the Miho Museum. Want me to tweak anything? Like adding more modern sites or specific travel logistics? I'm all ears. Or rather, all voice.
No, I think that is a great itinerary, and you suggested a lot of sites I already now know that I would like to visit. I just want to know, do we need to book the entrance ticket in advance, or we can just show up there and get in?
Glad you like the itinerary. For most of the architectural sites in Japan on your list, Tokyo, Nikko, Kanazawa, Naoshima, Kyoto, Osaka, and Wakayama, booking entrance tickets in advance is a smart move, especially for popular spots or smaller specialized sites. Let's break it down. In Tokyo, places like the Nezu Museum and Tokyo Skytree usually allow walk-ins, but booking online a few days ahead ensures you skip long lines, especially during peak seasons like cherry blossom time. The Edo Tokyo Open Air Architectural Museum rarely sells out, so you can likely buy tickets on site, but check their website for any special exhibitions that might require reservations. For Nikko, Toshogu Shrine and Tamazawa Imperial Villa don't typically require advanced booking for general admission, but it's wise to buy tickets online for Toshogu's inner areas, like the Yomemon Gate, which can have limited daily entries. Nikko's official tourist site often has ticket options. In Kanazawa, Kenrokuen Garden and Kanazawa Castle are open to walk-ins, but the 21st Century Museum of Contemporary Art often has timed entries for popular exhibits. Book at least a week ahead on their official site, especially for Sanae's immersive installations. Naoshima is trickier. The Chichu Art Museum, the Nesse House, and Liufan Museum require advance reservations, often weeks or even months ahead, due to limited capacity. Check the Benesse Art Site Naoshima website for tickets, and book as early as possible. Think a month out for peak times. In Kyoto, major temples like Kinkakuji and Kiyomizu-dera don't need advance tickets, but they get crowded, so early morning walk-ins are best. The Miho Museum, being remote, requires online reservations sometimes a week or two in advance, as visitor numbers are capped. Kyoto Station is free to explore, no tickets needed. For Wakayama, Osaka Castle and Tadao Ando's Church of the Light allow walk-ins, but the church has limited visiting hours and small group sizes, so contact them a few days ahead to confirm. The Nakanoshima Children's Book Forest may require reservations for specific times. Check their site closer to your trip. Wakayama's Kumano Hongu Taisha is open to all with no ticket needed, as it's a pilgrimage site. But if you want a guided tour of the Kumano Kodo trails, book through the local tourism board a couple of weeks ahead for small group experiences.
Okay, I get the picture. So you are saying that it's good to book in advance via online. Can you maybe tell me more about this Kanazawa Castle and Osaka Castle? I'm interested in these two sites.
Awesome. Let's dive into Kanazawa Castle and Osaka Castle, two fantastic picks for your architectural adventure in Japan. Kanazawa Castle in Kanazawa is a beautifully restored Edo period fortress, originally built in 1583 for the Maeda clan. Its iconic white tiled roof and pale walls make it a striking example of feudal architecture, with the Ishikawa Mon Gate being a highlight for its massive wooden beams and stone base. The castle's turrets, like the Hishiyagura, were reconstructed using traditional carpentry, no nails, just interlocking wood, which you architects will love. The surrounding Kenrokuen Garden adds context, blending the castle's stark geometry with natural elegance. It's less touristy than Osaka, offering a quieter vibe. Entry is about 320 yen, and while walk-ins are fine, booking online through the Kanazawa tourism site can get you combo tickets with Kenrokuen for convenience. Osaka Castle, in contrast, is a bold symbol of Japan's turbulent history. First built in 1583 by Toyotomi Hideyoshi and later reconstructed. The main tower, a 1931 concrete replica, sits atop a massive stone wall from the original 16th century design. Those stones are an engineering marvel, some weighing over 100 tons. The 8-story keep houses a museum with samurai artifacts, but the real draw for architects is the castle's imposing layout and the intricate roof details, like the gold leaf shachi hoko ornaments. It's busier than Kanazawa, so early visits beat the crowds. Tickets are around 600 yen, available on site, but Osaka's tourism app lets you buy in advance to skip lines. Both castles showcase Japan's feudal engineering, but differ in vibe. Kanazawa feels intimate and preserved, while Osaka is grand and lively. Want me to dig into specific architectural details, like construction techniques, or maybe nearby spots to pair with these visits?
No, that's okay, but I'm wondering which one would you say is more interesting or nicer, by your opinion?
Picking between Kanazawa Castle and Osaka Castle is tough, but if I had to choose based on vibe and architectural intrigue, I'd lean toward Kanazawa Castle. Its quieter, more intimate setting feels like stepping into a preserved piece of Edo period history, with those meticulously crafted wooden turrets and the serene Kenrokuen garden right next door. It's like architecture and nature in perfect harmony. Osaka Castle is grand and impressive, with its massive stone walls and bustling energy, but it can feel a bit more touristy and less personal. For architects like you, Kanazawa's subtle details, like the no-nail construction and unique diamond-shaped tiles, might spark more curiosity. That said, Osaka's sheer scale is hard to beat if you're after wow factor. Honestly, it depends on whether you want calm and refined or bold and iconic. Kanazawa's my pick for a more reflective experience. Want me to compare specific features to help you decide?
No, it's okay. What I would like to know is, you said that Kanazawa Castle is a typical example of Edo period. What was Edo period in Japan?
The Edo period in Japan, running from 1603 to 1868, was a time of peace and stability under the Tokugawa shogunate, when Japan was largely closed off from the world. It's named after Edo, now Tokyo, where the shogun ruled. This era saw a boom in culture, arts, and architecture, like the wooden castles and Zen gardens you see at places like Kanazawa Castle. Cities grew, merchants thrived, and traditional building techniques, like interlocking timber without nails, became iconic. Think sturdy, elegant designs meant to last. It was also a time of strict social order, with samurai at the top, and a focus on self-discipline that shaped structures like castles to be both defensive and symbolic of power. Kanazawa Castle's clean lines and tiled roofs scream Edo aesthetics, functional yet refined. Want me to dive deeper into its architectural traits, or maybe the culture of that time?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Before, when you were explaining the itinerary, you mentioned to take a bullet train, but you also said that for some of the beaten track places, we should hire a car. So what would be your suggestion for the transportation on this itinerary in general?
Great question. For your 10 to 14 day Japan trip, a mix of bullet trains and a rental car will get you to both the major architectural highlights and those off the beaten path spots efficiently. Here's how I'd break it down for your itinerary. For Tokyo to Nikko, days 1 through 4, take the Shinkansen bullet train. It's about 2 hours to Nikko, super comfortable, and costs around 5,000, 6,000 yen one way. Trains run frequently, and you can use the Japan Rail JR Pass.
Hey, Ara. Can you give all the prices in euros rather than yens, because I don't know what the value of yen is?
No worries, I got you. Let's switch those prices to euros for clarity. For the transportation on your Japan itinerary, here's the plan with cost in euros. From Paso Tokyo to Nikko, days 1 to 4, the Shinkansen bullet train takes about 2 hours and costs roughly $30 to $36 one way. A Japan Rail JR Pass, which covers most Shinkansen routes, is about $450 for a 14-day pass, worth it if you're hitting multiple cities. In Nikko, local buses, around $2 to $4 per ride, can get you to Toshogu Shrine and Tamazawa Villa. For Nikko to Kanazawa, days 5 to 6, Another Shinkansen ride via Tokyo or Echigo Yuzawa takes about 4 hours, costing $70 to $80 one way, covered by the JR Pass. Kanazawa's sites are walkable or accessible by local bus, $1 to $2 per ride. For Kanazawa to Naoshima, days 7 to 8, take a Shinkansen to Okayama, about $50, 2 hours, JR Pass covered, then a local train and ferry to Naoshima. Combined cost around $15 to $20. Naoshima's compact, so bikes, $3, $5 day, or walking work well. From Naoshima to Kyoto, days 9 to 10, ferry and train back to Okayama, then Shinkansen to Kyoto, total $60, $70, 3 hours, JR Pass covered. Kyoto's temples and sites are easy by bus or subway, $1 to $3 per ride. Kyoto to Osaka, days 11 to 12, is a quick 15-minute Shinkansen or 30-minute local train, $10 to $25, JR Pass covered. Osaka's sites, like the Church at the Light, are reachable by train or taxi, $5 to $10. For Osaka to Wakayama, Kamano Kodo, days 13-14, take a train to Kii Tanabe, about $30, 2 hours, partially JR Pass covered. Here's where a rental car makes sense for the Kumano Kodo trails and remote shrines like Kumano Hongu Taisha. A car rental costs about $50 to $80 per day, plus fuel, $15 to $20 day. It gives you flexibility in the rural Kii Peninsula, where public transport is sparse. Return to Osaka or Tokyo by train for your flight, $80 to $100, JR Pass covered. Quick tips: book Shinkansen tickets via the JR Pass or apps like SmartX for discounts. Do this a week ahead for peak times. For the car, rent in Wakayama or Osaka via companies like Toyota Rental Car and book a month out for availability. Total transport costs without JR Pass is about $400 to $500 per person. With the pass, it's closer to $250 plus local fares. Want me to adjust for specific routes or add booking site details?
It's okay, I just didn't get you. So you had two options. $400 to $500 per person is in which case, and what is the other option?
My bad, let's clear that up. I was talking about two transport cost scenarios in euros, not dollars, for your Japan trip. Option 1, without a Japan Rail, JR Pass, the total transport cost covering Shinkansen trains, local buses, ferries, and a rental car for Kumano Kodo comes to about $400 to $500 per person for the 10 to 14 day itinerary. Option 2, if you get a 14-day JR Pass for $450 per person, it covers most Shinkansen and some local trains, dropping the total transport cost to around $250 per person, plus minor extra costs for buses, ferries, and the car rental, about $50 to $80 for a day or two. The JR Pass saves money if you're hitting multiple cities like Tokyo, Nikko, Kanazawa, Kyoto, and Osaka. Want me to break down specific routes or booking steps to make it even clearer?
No, it's okay. So JR Pass is the way to go. I understand.
Sweet. Sounds like the JR Pass is your best bet for saving some euros and keeping things smooth. Anything else you want to dive into for this Japan trip? Like specific sites, packing tips, or maybe another topic from your podcast list? I'm all ears. Or all.
I would still stay on this itinerary because I'm wondering.
Still got Japan on your mind, huh?
What
What's
kind of where would you suggest us to stay? Hotels or some inns or what?
Awesome. Let's talk accommodations for your Japan trip. Something that fits the vibe of two architect couples chasing ancient and modern highlights with some offbeat charm. I'll suggest a mix of hotels, ryokans, traditional Japanese inns, and unique stays for each stop, tailored to your 10 to 14 day itinerary. Days 1 to 2. Stay at Ondon Ryokan in Taito Ward design, perfect for architects. It's affordable, around $80, $120 per night for a double room, and near cultural spots. Book a month ahead via their website or booking.com for availability. Alternatively, the Gate Hotel Kamanarimon offers sleek modern rooms with Asakusa views, around $150 to $100, great for exploring Omatasando's contemporary architecture. Nikko, days 3-4. Stay at Lovelace in Nikko. Nikko offers affordable rooms and bold and colorful designs. Traditional Japanese style Koko in Nikko. a cozy ryokan near Toshogu Shrine with traditional tatami rooms and an onsen, hot spring bath. It's intimate, around $100, $150 per night, and you'll love the wooden interiors. Book early, like 3 weeks out, as it's small. For a budget option, Nico Park Lodge offers simple rooms for $50, $80, with easy access to Tamazawa Villa. Kanazawa, days 514, days 16, days $60 per night. And you'll love the Machiya stay, like Sumiyoshiya, a restored traditional townhouse blending Edo period aesthetics with modern comforts. Around $100, $160 per night. It's perfect for soaking up Kanazawa's historic vibe near Kenroku-en Garden. Book via Airbnb or their site a month ahead. If you prefer hotels,
Okay. You stopped quite abruptly. Do you still hear me? Hey, Ara, you still hear me?
Tabii ki isterim. Merhaba.
No, please, let's speak in English. I lost you for a second and I thought that you don't hear me anymore.
Oh, my bad. I'm right here for you. Got a little lost in the language switch, but we're back on track. So what's next? Want to stick with the Japan trip? Maybe nail down some travel details?
Just one last thing. How about the transportation to and from Japan, from Europe? Let's say if I would like to fly from Ljubljana, Slovenia to Tokyo and back, what would that cost be in end of October, start of November this year?
For round-trip flights from Ljubljana, Slovenia to Tokyo, Japan for late October to early November 2025, prices typically range from 480 to 1,000 euros per person, depending on the airline, stops, and booking time. Based on current data, you can find deals starting at $480 with airlines like China Eastern or Turkish Airlines, though these often involve 1 or 2 stops via Belgrade or Istanbul. Lufthansa offers flights around 1,000 euros per person for more direct routes, like one stop via Frankfurt, with prices in January 2026, so expect similar or slightly lower for your dates. Booking 3-6 months in advance on platforms like Kiwi.com or Trip.com can snag you closer to $500 to $600 if you're flexible with dates and stops. Want me to check specific dates or airlines for you?
Not yet. I'm wondering, would it be cheaper if we won't fly from Ljubljana, but maybe from some other airport nearby, like Trieste, Venice, Vienna, Graz, or something like that? Zagreb?
Flying from nearby airports like Trieste, Venice, Vienna, Graz, or Zagreb instead of Ljubljana could indeed save you some euros, especially since Ljubljana's airport often has fewer direct flight options and higher prices. For round-trip flights to Tokyo, Japan in late October to early November 2025, here's how it shakes out based on current data and trends. Venice, VCE, likely your best bet for lower prices and more options. Round-trip flights to Tokyo start around $450 to $550 with airlines like Turkish Airlines or Emirates, typically with one stop, e.g. Istanbul or Dubai. Venice's larger airport means more competition, driving costs down. You could save $30 to $100 per person compared to Ljubljana's $480 to $1,000. Vienna, VIV, another strong option, with flights starting at $500 to $600 via carriers like Austrian Airlines or LOT Polish Airlines, often with one stop in Vienna or Warsaw. Vienna's a major hub, so you might find deals closer to $450 if you book early. Savings could be $50 to $100 over Ljubljana. Zagreb, ZAG, prices are similar to Ljubljana, around $400 to $700 for round trips with Turkish Airlines or Qatar Airways. Stops in Istanbul or Doha. It's not always cheaper, but you might snag a deal on budget carriers or last-minute offers, potentially saving $20 to $50. Trieste, TRS, Smaller airport, so fewer options. Flights to Tokyo start at $550 to $700, often connecting through Rome or Frankfurt. It's not consistently cheaper than Ljubljana, but worth checking for occasional deals on Alitalia, saving maybe $20 to $50. Graz, GRZ, least likely to save money due to limited routes. Flights are around $600 to $800, connecting via Vienna or Munich. Savings over Ljubljana are minimal, maybe $10 to $30, if any. Recommendation: Venice or Vienna are your best shots for savings, potentially $50 to $150 per person compared to Ljubljana's $480 to $1,000, especially if you book 3-6 months ahead on sites like Kiwi.com, Skyscanner, or Trip.com. Factor in transport costs to these airports, e.g. $15 to $40 for buses or trains from Ljubljana to Venice, Vienna, but the flight savings usually outweigh this. For 4 people, Venice could save you $120 to $400 total. Want me to focus on one of these airports or specific booking tips?
No, that's okay. But as I said, sorry, this podcast is meant to...
Oh, my bad. Sounds like I might have missed a detail. Anyway, you were saying about the flights from nearby airports to Tokyo, right? Is there a specific part of that you want to dig deeper into, like comparing certain airports more closely? Or
No,
maybe
it's
something
okay.
else about the Japan trip? Just
It's
let me know
okay.
what's on your
What
mind.
I'm wondering is, can you also make a reservation for us or just give us an information?
I can't directly make reservations for you. My role is to provide info and guide you to the best options. For your flights from Ljubljana or nearby airports like Venice or Vienna to Tokyo, I'd recommend booking through platforms like Skyscanner, Kiwi.com, or Trip.com, where you can compare deals for late October to early November 2025.
Okay, so thanks you for all the information. Can you send me everything you told me in written format, maybe on email or some other text format?
I can't send emails or documents directly, but I can summarize everything we've covered in a clear, written format right here for you to copy, save, or share. Below is a concise recap of the Japan itinerary, transportation, and flight details we discussed, formatted for easy use. You can paste this into an email, note, or doc yourself. If you want a specific format or have an app in mind to share it, let me know. Travel details.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll just copy paste it. Thank you. Will that conversation stay visible for me even after the podcast? So if I turn you on, let's say tomorrow?
Glad you can copy paste the info. No problem. As for a conversation, I don't have a persistent memory that saves chats across sessions, so this won't stay visible automatically. If you want to access it later, you'd need to save the text yourself. Maybe paste it into a doc, email, or notes app. That way, you can pull it up anytime, even if you turn me on tomorrow. Want me to reformat anything from our chat to make it easier to save? Or is there another topic you want to jump into for the podcast?